an aquaculturist cashing in on burgeoning demand. The ginger man gets ginger flavored and flourishing. Cluck cluck, the tale of the housewife and the reverberating egg song. These are stories from the agro-processing and productivity enhancement and livelihood improvement support project, Appeals. They depict success and foreshadow substantial positive impacts on farmers, their livelihoods and families, as well as Nigeria's national food production. These stories represent the collective aspirations of thousands of beneficiaries across 6 focal states. This is what the Appeals Project is about. There are quite a number of facts about the Appeals Project. What you are looking at is a graphical representation of the success story of the project, mid-2022. Since its inception in March 2017, the Appeals Project continues to impress. It is an initiative of the federal government of Nigeria, supervised by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, with technical and financial support from the World Bank. This here illustrates interventions in key priority value chains in the 6 focal states. This one illuminates the gains made in thematic areas and speaks to how thousands of farmers, small and medium-scale enterprises, and commodity interest groups have been impacted positively.
A good way to drive home the point would be a collection of motivating, happy, inspiring, and appealing stories. These are true life transforming stories indeed.
While it may not be possible to tell all of their stories, some of them will drive this narrative.
Good morning, ladies.
For the most part, and for too long, the city of Lagos identifies as Nigeria's busiest and most bubbling commercial hub. Some would say Lagos State is the very definition of nature abhors vacuum.
My name is Oluranti Segoveva. Appeals Project is indeed impacting lives. Welcome to Lagos.
Located 69 kilometers southwest of Lagos and 23 kilometers east of Seme, a border town in Benin Republic, is the coastal town of Badagry. Even here, the Appeals Project has made a great impression. You may want to ask, what and how does a typical fish hatchery look like?
This is the nursery. This is where the activity starts from. And these are nursery for hatchery. And here the fishes are expected to stay for a month, for 4 weeks. And this is the early stage of their life. And they have to go under this flow-through system for a month. You can see them, they are still very, very fragile, as you can see. So this is the beginning of their life. So they are under like an intensive care here.
A good fish hatchery management is a critical tool in intensive fish culture. And for the Appeals Project, supporting the Fish Hatchers Association of Badagry is expedient for many reasons. Aquaculture is one of 3 priority value chain products for Lagos State under the project.
Like we used to say in our group, we say the cycle begins with us. Because without the seedlings, you can't have fishermen outside there. Because gone are those days where we rely on the wild to get your seedlings because of the high demands of catfish. So now we have to do this artificially, and so without the seedlings here, you can't boast of fish farming in Nigeria. So it is so imperative that farmers rely solely on hatchers to survive.
The Fish Hatchers Association of Badagry is a cluster comprising 6 groups, each with a minimum of 10 beneficiaries. The hatchery's major challenge in the days prior to the intervention by the Appeals Project was poor water quality and low productivity.
Actually, Appeals Project has been so supportive to us, and we were being supported with treatment plants, brood stocks, and fish feeds, and as well as treatment kits too. And that has really impacted greatly on us.
The cluster now has 90 more hatcheries in operation, and together they have an output capacity of 1.5 million seeds per circle, a circle being between 1 and 3 months.
Based on the demand, it is increasing because right now protein, fish protein has been identified as one of the best protein. So everybody is trying to key into that protein line. So formerly, if I can remember, we were producing around, the whole cluster was producing around, there's around 500,000, between 300 and 500,000. But now with the interventions, we've been able to jack our production up to about 1.5 million per cycle. And that has really rubbed fine on us. And so many other youths are coming for training just to join the program.
A key component of appeal support to beneficiaries is the deliberate establishment of linkages and partnerships amongst businesses within specific commodity interest groups. These structured business alliances ensure that farmers like Jolao Lua and his team are assured a ready market for their fingerlings and post-juvenile seeds.
It has really impacted us positively because now we have a front. Now our association is stronger with the help of appeals, whereby we have a common goal, we have a unified pricing and sizing of our appeal. We call it product standardization.
Clearly, with appeals, the Fish Hatchers Association of Badagry has turned into a stronger market force.
Everyone in the cluster is very much satisfied. They can speak for themselves. Yeah. Thank you, appeals.
On the other side of Badagry town and perched by the lagoon is the fishing community of Afowo. Here, the dominant Egun-speaking folks also have cause to be grateful to the Appeals Project. Gaining access to the waterfront, which used to be a Herculean time-consuming venture, is now like shooting fish in a barrel, thanks to a 0.275 kilometer thoroughfare constructed as a farm access road under the infrastructure support component of the Appeals Project to agri-business clusters. A fully constructed jetty links the newly constructed road to the lagoon, which is the business site for a cottage fish production unit, registered as the Afowo cluster under the project.
This is Afowo community. Wow, this space is looking so beautiful. Well, thanks to the intervention of appeals. Formerly, this place is inaccessible, like for farmers, for vehicles, and even for the fishmongers. But thank God today, it's beautiful. You can see how beautiful the place is. So lovely. Now, let's go on the water.
How far are you doing now?
I'm fine, boss. Sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, welcome to Afowo community. What we're doing at the moment is we're trying to mend our nets in preparation for the next stocking season. We've had a very wonderful season this year, and very wonderful. And after every season, we have to rehabilitate, like we do in netting pond. But these ones we have to mend our nets in preparation for the next stocking. So that's what is ongoing at this moment.
Just a few years back, the story was different for fish farmers in Afowo community. Those were the days of earthen ponds and persistent physical exhaustion. The introduction of the cage culture and subsequent demonstration by the Appeals Project was the game changer and a successful depiction of technology transfer.
For the Appeals Project, we have 60 60 kgs, that's of 1,500 capacity. And the other side too, we have about 120 kgs too from the Ministry of Agric, aside from the appeals cages. And over there too, we have, I think we have about 5 private investors too.
It is a rather complex network of interwoven cages formed with nets as walls and submerged in the lagoon while supported with plastic containers for buoyancy. The cage culture technology is described as nutrition-friendly, climate-smart, and adaptable for especially rearing tilapia.
But the only challenge with the cage culture is the initial capital, which is most expensive, and that's what Appeals took care of. The project took care of the structures and everything. But the way it is now, all the farmer requires is just to get the fish, stock the cages, and you feed. And once it's time for harvest, then shorter period of harvest too. Normally in earthen ponds, before you achieve such cage sizes, maybe you'll be looking at 6, 7, 8 months. But with the cage culture, 4, 5 months. So shorter period of for harvest.
With 200 cages in play arising from expansion, harvesting between every 3 and 5 months obviously means increased activities for farmers in the Afowo cluster.
A lot of value chain too has sprang up from this. We have a lot of people even within the community, within the clusters, that are marketers as well too.
They come from Benin, they come from Agbara, they come from Agbalata, from Apapa, Lagos, here and there. Yeah. So on that day, it's always stressful. We sell for like I think 4 or 5 days. So it's not all the day. When we sell this week, maybe in the next 1 week, we have another sale.
With increased productivity and the opportunity of a ready market, which derives from commercial partnerships with off-takers, an arrangement put in place by the Appeals Project, the Afowo fish farmers say they are currently in a happy place.
Appeals has done so much for us, and this is really wonderful. We appreciate them. Their intervention was really awesome. We want to say thank you to Appeals. We appreciate you. And thank you for your trainings as well. It has added so much value to us.
Yeah, interestingly, Appeals intervention came up when a lot of farmers were challenged post-COVID, and it has really changed the stories of a lot of people that were giving up already in our culture. And the way it is now, from the success of this project, it shows there's a lot of hope for us.
Yeah. It's changed life. It's magnificent. It's a game changer. Thank you very much, Appeals.
Appeals! Progress! Oh, shit!
And somewhere else in mainland Lagos, a familiar fish marketing venture draws attention. It has a kiosk, a fireplace, a grill, and most prominently, a chef.
My name is Soromide Tokwe. I'm an Appeals beneficiary. I'm into marketing. I do value addition. I don't only do croaker, I do tilapia. I do any kind of scaly fish actually. And I also do catfish. Catfish was what I started with. But due to the fact that not many people consume catfish, we dare to add scaly fish. So I started with croaker and tilapia. So here am I today enjoying one of the products of Appeals.
The novelty of Soromi Dayo's barbecue business is centered on this solar-powered mobile market kiosk, an intervention which came under the project's support to small and medium-scale enterprises.
I actually started with an umbrella here. Day 1 to day 3, I started with an umbrella like this one they put on the roadside for this call center. So gradually after a week, we moved to a canopy. But during the rainy season, the canopy will just come down due to the wind and everything, thunder strike and everything, collapse the canopy. I had to change canopy like 3 times. Then, thank God for Appeals intervention. I was supported as an SME. I was given these kiosks, and ever since I was given the kiosks, it not only increased the sales, the kind of people I meet, the kind of people that buy from me, and it's been a lot of, from grass to grace.
Obviously, Soromi Dayo has always had a thing for marketing. Thus, her decision to embrace fish marketing during the Appeals training for SME beneficiaries in Lagos State.
I've always loved value addition. and value addition gives me direct contact to the end consumers. So I'm able to relate with them, and relating with them has also given me a lot of advantages. I learned a lot of things and I've also started. So with Appeals, I'm everywhere.
This Appeals beneficiary has not only learned the rudiments of quality fish processing and marketing, but also exudes traits that enable her business and definitely make it more appealing. The Lagos Appeals project is also flying high in its intervention of another of its priority value chain, this time rice.
Blessed Rice Farmer has been there since 2014 thereabouts. So different intervention has come in, but Appeals project, I think is Appeals project is one of the best projects so far. So good that farmers in Lagos State have benefited from.
The intervention here includes the adoption of the rice netting technology, in addition to farming inputs and equipment supplied by Appeals project to the cluster.
The good thing about the net is this. Number one, you can use the net 2 times or 3 to 4 times in a season. Then it cuts your cost as into minimal. Like another thing, it saves your time, it saves your breath and your stress.
The support is targeted at production and productivity enhancement. And so far, courtesy of Appeals, Blessed Rice Farms ticks all the boxes in that direction.
Before meeting the IITA thing, I think our yield is around 1 ton. We even drag with 1 ton, apart from even net. Not for anything, because of the variety of the ofada that we're planting. But now, presently, right now as I'm talking to you, 2 ton, 2.5. Even if you manage your farm very well, like you don't do ojukokoro. Let me put it that way, ojukokoro, Yoruba things. If I do 1 hectare, I can assure you that someone that do 2 hectares, 1.5 hectares, if care is not taken, you will see more than that person.
Typically, as would be expected, Obitunde and other members of 5 groups that make up this rice commodity interest group are excited about the changing fortune.
Let me tell you one thing to bust your brain right now as I'm talking to you, I'm a father. My wife gave birth yesterday. Just yesterday. So if Appeal is not doing fine, man, it will really tell on me that something is wrong with him, man. I'm fresh, I'm fine, I'm cool. I don't look like a farmer. But if I undo my cutlass and I say, is this guy a farmer or not? And look at everybody they are saying they are fresh and fine. We are not fresh and fine because you guys are coming. We don't know you are coming. We are not prepared for you. It's just how we used to be. So at least when it comes to that, if I start talking, I'll talk from now to tomorrow. But give the Appeals.
Under the Appeals project, the estimated 57.7% increase in average yield in rice production is matched by a corresponding 38.6% increase in processing.
This is where it all starts from. These are bags of paddy that we bought from farmers.
Ricky Stores Limited is one of the major off-takers of Ofada rice paddy from Appeals farmers in Lagos State. Rising interest across Nigeria for healthier brands of rice staple has been generating rising demand for Ofada rice. A chemical analysis indicates that the starch ratio in Ofada is far lower than that of other rice species, especially the imported ones. But the processing of Ofada rice takes more time to allow for fermentation, and the process is made more tedious without necessary technology.
What would take us about a week or a week and a half to do before, once the rice is milled, even let me say from drying, right from the time of drying till now, it would take like 2-3 days. Since 2020 that we received this grant of dryer and color sorter from Appeal Lagos, we have actually, I would say we've been blessed. It has actually helped our productivity, eased the stress associated with Ofada processing that's actually helped in our sales.
Oluwatoyin and her mostly female work crew now have the capacity to work smarter and faster, with increased quality output to show for it.
Why some people don't take Ofada before because of the way it looks, because of the way it smells, because of stones. Some people call it oh God. When you crack one stone, you say oh God. But now you can eat Ofada and smile.
If rice can make you smile, then Ricky Store's Ofada rice will definitely do the trick. After all, it is apparently making Oluwatoyin smile to the bank. Have you ever heard the stories of too many eggs in Nigeria, food waste, and not enough value conversion tax? Well, if you have, then Lim Lim will definitely impress you.
Hello everyone, my name is Adiola Balogo, co-founder of Lim Lim Food Production Company. You're welcome to our facility.
The extensive COVID-19 lockdown in Nigeria was rather hard on poultry production and distribution networks. It was, however, a good time for the Lagos Appeals Project and commodity interest groups like Lim Lim to explore and expand on market opportunities.
It all started during COVID. Pre-COVID, we had done some sampling on egg powder and we'd seen that we were able to do it. But during COVID, then the issue became more in our face, where we were seeing farmers burying eggs because they could not have access to market. And so the excess production, the excess production was being buried. And so we felt we could do this, we could turn this into powder, and then we started doing that. We had some states invite us, but Appeals in particular was very supportive, and we're going through and following through with us, and that's how we started doing it in commercial quantities.
Egg powder is a fast-rising industry subset in the poultry value chain. And in terms of utility, it is widely applied across various sectors.
Right now, given the CBN directive on FX, companies that normally import egg powder for their products are finding it difficult to import this product. So they are looking for local companies that are able to produce this to meet their demand. So egg powder is being used largely in the food and beverage industries. It's used in making biscuits, snacks, ice creams, amongst other things, and also used in the pharmaceutical industry. There's use and application for egg powder in that area.
While it is phenomenal that Lim Lim is pushing the frontiers in value chain creation, Appeals' intervention here is targeted at providing economic solutions to the challenge of egg glut in Nigeria.
So these machines are called freeze dryers, and this is where the magic happens, and this is what makes it different from others. So we separate the eggs and then we place them in trays and put them in the machine. And once you start the machine, you can't touch them. The machines are automated. It tells you what is going through, and once the process is complete, then it tells you process complete, and then you bring it out your bag and you sell to customers.
Regular checks and tests are often conducted to determine hygiene, safety, and consumption standards. A single powder machine takes 6 crates of eggs, and the production cycle is pegged at 48 hours.
Prior to Appeals intervention, we were struggling to even show samples for the egg powder, given the fact that we're also doing fruits and vegetables. With the Appeals intervention, we're clearly being able to focus on egg powder production, and we have the more confidence to meet the companies and showcase what we have. And we're also thinking about plans now to move into a bigger facility. We've written to the Ministry of Agric, and they're looking at options for us to where they can set up a proper egg powder facility to meet the demand.
Quick fact, with eggs, there's nothing that goes to waste. Aside the albumin, which is the main component of the egg white powder, and the egg yolk used for yellow egg powder, the shells are also collected and processed for animal feeds and scouring powder.
To start by thanking Almighty God for His mercies, we want to thank Appeals Project, particularly Lagos State and World Bank Project team for their support towards enabling us set up and actualize our egg powder facility. Of course, we're asking for more. We need more machines. We need support to ensure that we meet the demand. But we're thankful also that we're able to impact a lot of lives, particularly the women that are working with us.